Hello there. Today is recapping day 47 of working on a currently untitled project, so let's hop right in. So yesterday I worked on two main things. One was the dash, where there's now an option to decelerate at the end of the dash. So this is without the deceleration, your momentum carries forward and you drift a long distance. With the deceleration, the dash is a lot more tight. There are a number of reasons you might want to go with either one of them. Punchy Fox and I are just going to have to test it out and just see which one feels best. There's also consideration that the dash might be used less for actually covering distance, because the player is already quite fast, and it might be used more for changing direction. So like, now you can change direction, on the spot, basically, on a short cooldown. Well, when the cooldown is short, at least. But if you try to, go in the same direction and, you dash in that direction, you don't actually move that far. So, things to consider there. And again, maybe the deceleration isn't actually desired. Just stuff to experiment and play around with and see what feels good. It sort of depends on like what environments there are, because if the environments are more tight, then you would want the deceleration, because you want a more controlled dash. If the environments are smaller, you might want a shorter dash, or a not as fast dash. For the dash cooldown, there's a lot that could be debated there as well. Not sure exactly where to go with it at the moment. There are just a bunch of different options, and it's just going to take some experimentation to figure out what feels good and what opens up the most variety of play. The other thing that I set up was you can see little shots. You can see little fire effects coming out of the player. It's all of them are the same one right now, so it's all green spokes basically. But helps solve the effect. I also did a bit of setup to enable charging VFX, though that's not in quite yet. And I did a bit to set up impact VFX as well, though that is also not in as of yet. Yeah. That's all the core stuff for today. If you would like to listen to me ramble a bit, then feel free to stick around. If you want to just click off, feel free to do that as well. I actually kind of went into the ramble that I intended in this section with the dash. There's just a lot to experiment with there, and one of the big problems right now is that with the dash, the player is already very fast. So the issue the player has mostly is turning around. Like that's the main sticking point. And there are actually arguments to decrease the acceleration further and make the character a lot more weighty. And this is like a case where like having a dash that just shifts direction for you is incredibly useful. Even if it doesn't cover distance on its own. Like, because it doesn't, you only move 50% faster with the dash right now than you do normally moving, and it's only for a fifth of a second. Ignore the art bugs, that's just me not setting out the vertex colors on the meshes. I have to redo that every time. So, the question is like, should the dash be fast? Should it like carry you a decent distance relative to your normal movement? Or in which case, the dash is going to probably be a pretty long dash, or at least a very fast dash. That which has a certain feeling to it, and would predicate certain environments, would incentivize certain environments to be designed for it. and would discourage other types of environments from being developed. Um, Another option is just make the player slower, which is counterintuitive because like the fast player is something that felt good. Like that's something that came out of the player movement test, was that a faster player felt better than a slow player. But with the inclusion of the dash, what's the best option here? And I'm not entirely sure. This is just something that's going to need to be tested a bunch. There are a lot of options, and it's just going to be a matter of like taking things and just figuring out what feels good. So, yeah. The other note that I have is I have not gotten much done this past week. I was hoping to get a fair bit more done, but I've not felt inspired to work on the project, which is worrying. Hopefully that comes back. But just this past week, each day I just sort of put it off each day and just sort of wait until later in the day, and it I don't know, it just isn't. Things just haven't been going great. Today and tomorrow are off days. I may swap to only one off day instead of two from here on out, but for right now I'm going to stick with 2 off days and see how I feel. I'm going to try to do planning during today and tomorrow, like just really sort out what I can do over this next week, and just sort of try to plot things out so that I can just jump into things. And yeah, I kind of had things plotted out initially, and I just didn't jump into them this past week, so like, I don't know. I'm not sure taking the break initially is what caused all this. But yeah. The question is taking breaks helping? And right now, it seems like no, it's not. It does give me days off, and it gives me like stress-free days where I don't have to work on the project. I don't have to push towards anything. But yeah, I don't know. I need to think on it. Just stuff to sort out. Yeah, anyways, that's everything for now. If you have any comments, questions, ideas, or anything else on your mind, leave a comment below. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.